Hello guys, welcome back to the Crew 2 update news and patch news, and that's what we're going to talk about. It's been a bit quiet on my channel. That will also be the case for the upcoming weeks and such. I'm involved in selling the house and getting moved and stuff like that. So yeah, a bit less activity as it is on the channel. Nevertheless, the Crew 2 February vehicle drops. Let's start with that. The first one that will come is a street race Audi RS5, which in a way completes the DTM cars that we have. We have the BMW M4, we have the Mercedes C63. The last one of the DTM cars is the Audi RS5. Although we have it in street race here, maybe it might come later as a touring car as well. We will see. These February vehicles will drop on next Wednesday. I think that's the 6th for season pass holders, and a week later for the standard game. They can buy it in the HQ as always. Audi RS4 in street is one, and the other one is the Porsche 911 GT3 RS in a rally cross version. It comes with a special livery which is created by this guy here, Romain Dumas. They worked together with him. He's a Porsche factory driver. It's not this livery that will be in the game. You can see the livery on their live stream, which they did at the Crew game. Sort of a black livery, specially made for the Crew 2. They made to work together with Romain Dumas. That will be for the February vehicles. Then we go to, let's say, the latest news and such. Because, yeah, we always had to wait on these updates. Like we had Gator Rush in September, the Demolition Derby and PvP in December. And then now towards spring, there was another one coming, which was originally planned for March, but apparently it's going to be April now. And to keep us busy a little bit, they're going to come up with some weekly activity, let's put it that way. That means that you sort of see here the road to the live update number 3, which will be, by the looks of it, by the end of April, that will come in. And I thought I said something that the main focus would be on requested features and such, and polishing up, so that third update, which they did not mention much about, we will see how it is. Requested things, then I'm thinking GPS, maybe some other stuff that will be in there for sure. But before we get there, they're gonna come up with like weekly events. They're gonna add, and they started with the street race. Yeah, personally, I'm not agreeing with that much, in that way that I know I have been reading on the forums that people want more variety in PvP and such. And they come up with Street Family first again. We already had the most street races event available, which was like 18 or so. They're gonna add 23 street races, 3 hypercar races, 3 drag races in the upcoming 3 months, more or less. So every week we're gonna get like 2 of these, and if you look at it on a monthly basis, every month you're going to get 1 hypercar, 1 drag race, and a bunch of street races added to the thing. They come with teams. Apparently, we have the openers. With that, patch will come in tomorrow. The game will be down in the morning as usual for a maintenance for about 2 or 3 hours. Around 1 p.m. Paris time, the game should be up and running again. And then we have the openers. The openers is the team for this week, and it will come with 5 new events, 3 street races, a drag race, and a hypercar race, if I'm not mistaken. Week number 2, which February 6th, that will be the Americans. 2 new events will be added. Week number 3 is the Japan Touch. Again, 2 new events added, and it goes on like that. The Italians for week number 4, and then it keeps going on like that with all kind of teams till the end of April, when the third update will actually come into the game. If we look more specifically in week 1, which is tomorrow, starts tomorrow, we're going to have 5 new disciplines. Let's have a look. The coastal range to LA. All of these races will be A to B, so no loop tracks as far as I know. So that personally I find that a good thing. I'm not a big fan of the loop tracks. Coastal range to LA, the Central Woods South, and Temecula wineries. Both of those 3 are street races. We have the main Highlands East hypercar race, and we have the Death Valley drag race that will be added tomorrow. And then on February the 6th, we will have the seasonal pass cars for February, and then also I think two new street events. The weekly challenge will also be related to these new events. Let's have a look. It's a street race, Central Woods South. That's the second one on the list here. Any difficulty, you can play it in street race from January the 30th till February the 4th. And you have to do some runs on it. The top 5 will get 10,000 crew credits, top 100 5,000 crew credits, and the top 1,000 2,000 crew credits. You have to set your time during this period from January the 30th till February the 4th. If you already have a time on this track, which would be impossible because it's a new track, but in case it is not a new track, sometimes these weekly challenges are on a track which is already there. You have to reset your time because they will only take in consideration of people that set time in the period when the challenge is running. So that is for the new racing events, the weekly events that they're gonna add, so that you have new stuff happening every week. That's the idea behind this, to more or less keep us a bit busy, that you just don't have to sit back and wait on the next update, which will be somewhere in spring. No, we can do weekly new races. And since they are A to B races, most of them will be completely new. It's not like it's going to be a reverse track of something else, because the races that we already had were mainly focused on loops and or circuits, or whatever you want to call it. These will be A to B races. 23 in total, if I'm not mistaken. And 3 drag races and 3 hypercar races. That will be what will be added towards the end of April. Let's have a look on the patch notes, because there are a few changes requested by many people have been made. There have been playing around a bit with the sounds. People were complaining about sounds. Bugatti Chiron sound is have they fixed, I believe. BMW M6, things like that has been fixed. In PvP, text chat, also requested by some people, will be available now. So you can use the chat box in PvP to talk to people. Well, yeah, we know how that's going to be. Friends going to use it to talk to each other, but you also have these people, cheater, hacker, that kind of shit, like in the crew one. That will also things that you will be seeing in the chat box, obviously. But it is there. The chat box requested by many people for PvP is coming. The daily contracts have been improved. You can now do them as normal events, but you can also complete them in hardcore or ace mode. What does that also mean? That if you put them in ace mode, you're going to get 5,000 instead of 1,500 for a normal event? Might be possible. And also the hard mode events can be completed in ace mode if you want. And for the normal, it's hard or ace mode. There have been things fixed, of course. As you can see, the patch notes is completely posted on the website. For instance, that traffic disappearing suddenly in front of you, that should be fixed. Things like that. Yeah, for me, as a more competitive player, the main thing is they added a vehicle category for PvP events. That means that you can select the vehicle that you want to drive. People were complaining that the bikes were too OP, which they were not, by the way, because if you were a decent driver, you could beat the bikes easily with definitely on certain tracks, because the bikes don't have that much top speed. So the cars will actually beat them. But still, other people were not that good with bikes, or they don't want to drive bikes, and they were complaining. But we did not want to nerf the bikes like they did in the crew 1, and then they completely ruined the bikes. We tried to avoid that, so we suggested splitting it up, and that's exactly what they did. Added vehicle category for PvP events will be all car only or moto only. So you can select if you want to drive only with bikes, only with cars, or a mix of both, apparently. So it will be some sort of selection in the PvP. So you can race with cars only, or with bikes only, or with both. If you preferred it like it was, you could also select all. They have made some improvements on the host migration, on the connectivity issues and such. They have made some improvements on it, so we will see how that works out once it's up and running. But that is sort of the main thing. Of course, there's also little glitches and fixes here and there, of course, like always. But yeah, I am usually having a look on edit, and if I look on edit, then I come to the cars and the bike separated, and the chat box available in PvP. Those are the two things that they added. The rest they have fixed here and there things, and they have improved some stuff. More about sounds and things like that. And some incorrect things that were showing, they have been fixed and improved. So the global summary is that there will be new events every week. They're mainly focusing on Street Family. Yeah, that's personally something I do not agree with. I want more variety in here, so also in PvP. These events will also come to PvP, but they first gonna see how it runs and to balance it out a little bit. So all these new events, they're gonna add them. You can play them for about a month, I think, and then they will be also added in PvP. So there will be more events coming to PvP because yeah, we have 29 new events coming. The drag is not in PvP, so I'm assuming that those other 26 events will come to PvP. But they always add them about a month later after they add the PvE event as it is. That will sort of be it for the January patch notes, let's call it that, and everything which is related to that. And then, of course, we also have the new vehicles. The Audi RS5 in Street Race and the Porsche 911 GT3 RS in Rallycross. I will see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.